In last week's video, we took a ferry off of Vancouver Island and down the Sunshine Coast of mainland BC. Our cross-Canada journey so far has taken us to some extremely remote and beautiful beaches and wilderness areas. After several hours of driving up the Sea to Sky Highway, we found a beautiful camp spot just past Duffy Lake along the Cayush Creek, where we decided to set up camp for the night. Although we've had the privilege of exploring quite a bit of mainland BC, the area we are in now and where we'll be traveling over the next few days are places we have never been before. We are excited about the adventure ahead. Good morning, we're back on the road pretty early this morning, wanting to keep heading north. Had a wonderful sleep by that river. I think it's called Cayush Creek. It looks like just glacial water flowing quite rapidly, and we're following the river all the way down. We just stopped to take a walk and cross this beautiful bridge somebody built. So we're heading north towards Williams Lake, and then from there we're going to start heading west, back west, the opposite way of where we're ultimately going. But there's some folks we met along the way that told us one of the most wild places in BC is, if not, the whole place is wild, but one of the most remote and wild places is called Chilco Lake. And so it looks like 3.5 hour drive out that way, but it's worth it. We're going to go check it out. We're going to bring you over there with us and show you the backcountry wilderness of British Columbia.
Sky.
So this is our first time coming up this road in this area, and the scenery is spectacular. I hope we're able to do justice with the camera out the window. It's hard to capture the beauty. You just have to see it with your own eyes, but what an incredible place. Just rushing rivers and massive rocky mountains everywhere, and huge forests, canyons. We're in the bottom of a canyon. We're crawling out of it now, but yeah, it blows your mind. It's an amazing, amazing drive. We just camped in a free dispersed camping area last night because we were coming in not really knowing the area. But there's all kinds of BC rec sites along here, so plenty of beautiful camp spots. They're all free, and they're dispersed all through here. So on your Onyx app, it'll show you where all those are.
Isn't that crazy? Just one thing after another. So pretty.
We're winding our way through the stunning Cayush Canyon, which follows the path of Cayush Creek. This canyon, nestled between the Cayush and Lillooet ranges, offers a breathtaking display of nature's raw beauty.
We're just gonna pull over and pop the drone up because it's mind-boggling how beautiful it is. Yeah. It's a huge canyon with the river going through it.
We find a little side road with an overlook where we can stop and admire the magnificent beauty of this area. Towering rock walls, cascading waterfalls, and rugged mountain peaks, some soaring as high as 2,900 meters or 9,700 feet, make up this incredible view. It's a truly awe-inspiring journey through one of British Columbia's most remarkable landscapes. As we make the steep descent back down the canyon, we pull over to read some historic plaques which share stories of some of the people and the railway which helped to open up this part of British Columbia.
Oh my goodness. Kidding me. Seriously.
Just in case you couldn't get any more beautiful, it does.
It sounds like a river or a waterfall again.
Probably a waterfall coming.
It looks like the train. Or is that a train track? Could you imagine being a train? What are they called? Train conductors?
Engineer.
The stuff they must see, like that we don't.
Yeah. Construction of the historic Pacific Great Eastern Railway was an epic undertaking vital to the development of the 20th century British Columbia. Promises it would transport endless stands of timber to Howe Sound, open up vast caribou ranch lands, and join the Cross-Canada Trail system. Just as we were pulling into Lillooet, BC, we saw a guy working hard in his van and immediately recognized him as Chrome from the YouTube channel Van City Vanlife. So we hopped the curb and pulled up beside him to say hi.
What's up, you guys? Hi! So if you guys don't know them, these guys are epic family road trip and just amazing backwoods videos. We getting a photo?
Yeah, we could.
Your rig makes mine look like it's a Honda Civic, dude.
I don't know, man.
Look at that shot.
It's holding its own though. You got some good height. This seems to be the perfect thing for us.
Yeah. So like on the ambulance, we've been talking about building a trailer for it, putting a quad in the trailer and all that stuff to get the rat off.
It was great to spend some time with Chrome from Van City Vanlife and his co-pilot, Cruzy. Chrome is a hard-working guy putting out videos almost daily, which is quite an amazing feat. We exchanged numbers, and we're all looking forward to doing some exploring together one day in his beautiful home province of British Columbia, Canada.
See you later, man. It was nice to meet you guys.
See ya.
Likewise.
See ya.
Bye. Wow, that was so cool.
He's got a really cool channel. If you haven't seen it, it's Van City Vanlife. He's got a really cute bulldog that goes with him too. All right.
So what town are we in now?
This is called Lillooet or Lillooet. And we're just going to drive through, but our actual road is back there, and then we've got to head up to Williams Lake. Yeah, so as we're getting farther north, we're kind of going through a very dry section. It reminds me a lot of the Okanagan Valley area, and I think this may be all connected to that. Fewer large trees, much drier, big canyons, more sandy land around here, it seems. Super windy day today and dry, and we're seeing smoke at least in all of those directions, so hopefully the road's not shut down or anything up here. We'll see when we come around the corner. This is the first wildfire smoke we've seen on our cross-Canada journey so far. It's difficult to tell if the smoke is blowing in from a distant fire or if one is burning near the road. We pull over to consult the wildfire map and to see if we can get a little more information. The only fires indicated on the map are burning quite a distance from our location, so we are going to continue on ahead. So it's getting a lot smokier up here, and it seems like all the cars are going that way, so we're just gonna go a little further and decide what we end up doing, but I don't feel like driving through a wildfire today.
Thankfully it's blowing out that way. I thought, could you imagine driving for days in smoke and not seeing anything?
Yeah, or camping in it, because you'd be breathing it all night. So the smoke's behind us now, which is good. We're back to blue skies. So we're going to carry on. Now that it's just the two of us, we have a hard time driving past antique shops.
I think this would be perfect in Dan's cabin.
Even though we don't buy something every time, it's a lot of fun to take a look at the antiques. Each piece has a story to tell about the history of the area we are driving through. So we jumped on the highway today for a couple hours just to make up some ground and get farther north towards Williams Lake. And we just saw there's a wreck site. It's about 20 minutes off the pavement back here, so we're gonna go check it out. It's supposed to be by a lake, which sounds pretty good. This area is completely different from what we just came through. You know, this morning we were in the mountains in deep canyons, and then we went through kind of a dry area, and then you come farther north and it's just almost flat and heavily wooded with not such large trees. Whoa.
A lot like Ontario.
Yeah, it looks like you're driving through.
It's like we just kind of, what is that?
Teleported
Yeah.
home. If we can find a nice little spot for tonight, that'll be nice, and then we'll get back on the road tomorrow. We're about 4 hours from the Chilco Lake region, which is something we've been wanting to go out to for quite some time, and just haven't been able to get there, so hopefully it'll work out this time. Nice, found a spot by the lake. Let's get camp set up. Good morning. We had just one night stay there at the lake. It's a beautiful place. Lots of fishing, but unfortunately we don't have time. We just got to keep pressing on if we're gonna get up to Chilco Lake. So maybe another day if we're going by. We just know that place is full of trout. We talked to some of the folks that were staying there, and they'd been catching 3-pounders and 5-pounders. So next time. But yeah, today we're gonna drive the 20 minutes back out to the highway and keep going up to Williams Lake and then west. Well, that sure changed quick. We turned west at Williams Lake, and before long we're climbing up the side of the mountain and going higher and higher in elevation. So who knows what's ahead, but I think it's going to be very wild and very beautiful. Gonna air down. The road is not getting any smoother, it's getting rougher, so we'll air down and carry on. As we head into the backcountry, we take a moment to check our satellite communication devices. We absolutely enjoy the beauty and serenity of nature, but we also have a healthy respect for its unpredictability. This is wildfire season, and we are also heading into grizzly country, and we want to be prepared for any event. We travel with the Global Rescue account, which gives us the assurance that if something were to go wrong, we would be evacuated out of even the most remote places. We are traveling alongside the Chilcotin River on the way to its headwaters at Chilco Lake in the coastal mountains. Shortly after we left the region, there was a massive landslide along the Chilcotin River, reinforcing the importance of having a plan in place for the unexpected. For us, Global Rescue is a big part of that plan and gives us the confidence to keep on exploring.
On the Chilcotin Nation, they're bracing for what's to come after a massive landslide dammed the Chilcotin River in BC's Caribou.
An entire empty cabin washed away in the fast-moving river.
A reminder how powerful Mother Nature is. You can manipulate Mother Nature.
A week's worth of water stuck behind a landslide, now flowing freely, also taking with it trees and chunks of the riverbank. Officials say the situation remains dangerous, is being constantly monitored, and people will be notified as it changes.
We've been driving for almost 2 hours on this dirt road. It's leveled off a fair bit. It's quite drivable, especially now that we've aired down. So we're able to, do 50 kilometers an hour, which is good. But we're going through some wild country and some very remote ranch land where cattle and horses are just free roaming, which is really neat to see. But yeah, we still have an hour and a half before we get to the where we're hopefully going to set up our camp.
Some of the mountains are in view, though.
We're starting to see mountains coming into view, yeah. Closer to the mountains, and the road's getting kind of some switchbacks going down to a river, I believe. The road takes us along the beautiful Chilcotin River. Fine rock dust produced by massive glaciers rubbing against bedrock stays suspended in the water, reflecting light and creating its beautiful turquoise color. In August, sockeye salmon, chinook, and coho make their way from the Pacific Ocean up the Fraser River and into the Chilcotin River here to spawn in Chilco Lake. These wild salmon are an integral food source for the First Nation communities who live in this region. We have to contact them.
Is there that phone number there?
Yeah. We're about an hour from the destination now, and there was a gate, not a gate, but kind of a entrance there, just on the road, just past the bridge, and it had a little cabin beside it with that. Looks like sometimes you'd check in with someone, but there's no one there. And on another sign it said all hunters must obtain permission. And hunters and visitors, I don't know, it wasn't 100% clear, must obtain permission, because this is indigenous lands, and it was, you know, ceded back to the local indigenous tribes, so it's really their own nation, these lands here. But the first sign we passed said you have permission, so you're granted permission as long as you use it within these guidelines, and basically it was like stay on the main road and don't cut down trees and things like that, just the basic stuff that you'd experience anywhere. So we called the number. There was 2 numbers there, and both said we're only open Monday to Thursday, so we have no option but to proceed, and that's what we're doing. And we'll stop in, I think it goes through a little village, and we'll get more clarification there, I guess. There hasn't been any cell service for at least 3.5 hours of driving. We were able to call because of Starlink, but most people wouldn't be able to call, so I'm not sure what the protocol is. But we're carrying on. We've passed a couple of good BC wreck sites which look amazing. One by the river and one by a lake here called Big Lake. So maybe on the way back we'll camp there.
This is probably the most remote camp I've ever been to.
Yeah, no doubt.
By far.
The road just keeps going and going and getting smaller and smaller. We just finally saw a sign. Oh, and here's the sign. So we feel like we're on the right direction now. But for a while there, I was like, this can't be right. It's so remote. But here we come.
Look at this. I think we should pull the paper off. Coming in.
Did it. I had my doubts, but we're here, so that's great. We have a really nice camp spot with the mountains in view and a beautiful lake. Time to set up camp. Such a gorgeous area, and this is, like you saw from the drive-in here, it's incredibly remote. So come down and take a look. So this is a new addition, and a very welcome one. It's a bug net specifically designed for the Ross Monster Baja truck. And I think it may come standard, or at least it's an option now on trucks. It wasn't available when, last November, but we are going to get that thing installed. There's no bugs here, or very, very few at this lake, which is amazing. But the camp we were at a couple of nights ago was a whole different story. So this thing will come in handy depending on where we are.
So we just put the Velcro going down to there, and now we'll attach the door and then put a few tacks and screws to hold it all up.
If you're in a place like this with no bugs, you just roll it up like that, and then there's a clip here somewhere. There you go.
Well, it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, if the bugs come, you just drop that. But the beauty is, I'll drop it to demonstrate. You put this down, zip it up, and then come in and out. It's magnetic. Boom! That's amazing.
We should just leave it
Like
for
this.
flies, because that's just so easy
Yeah.
to come in and out.
It just,
Even Lando can learn to push
Yeah.
it. Oh, that's going to be awesome.
that is amazing. Nice. Well done, Ross Monster. Well done.
There's a loon down there. That's incredible. If we had our little raft, we could go out there and camp. Look at the water.
Crystal clear.
You hear that river?
Yeah,
I think it's over there.
At 180 square kilometers and 366 meters, or 1,200 feet deep, Chilco Lake is the largest natural alpine lake in Canada. Its shores are completely uninhabited, making it one of the most striking and unspoiled landscapes in British Columbia today. It sits at an elevation of 1,175 meters, or 3,800 feet, at the head of the Chilco River on the Chilcotin Plateau. Glacier-fed and surrounded by some of the highest volcanic mountains in British Columbia, crystal clear turquoise blue Chilco Lake is arguably one of the most visually appealing wilderness lakes in the province. A high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicle is recommended for the 115-kilometer drive down a gravel road leading to this pristine wilderness. It's Monday morning, and we are completely alone, except for the loons and a family of mergans or ducks swimming in the waves. The wind is starting to pick up, as it often does on this lake, and we find ourselves captivated by the stunning beauty around us. A profound silence and peace has settled over our camp. Being this far away from everything is a rare experience, and it is truly good for the soul. Our plan for today is to embrace the simplicity of doing nothing. We'll just sit here, we'll stroll along the lake shore, and immerse ourselves in the solitude and natural beauty of this magical place. At some point we'll need to move on, but for now, this is home. Be sure to join us next week as we continue the great Canadian overland adventure and begin our journey eastward toward Alberta.